Good afternoon, AVIA472, and here we are in week 8 of the course. We're wrapping it all up, getting ready to move on to our next classes. For me, it'll be my last semester. Looking forward to it. Get that diploma, something else I can show my children that you can accomplish no matter what's going on. Ethics, Christian ethics in the aviation industry, it's probably one of the most important things when you look at it as the most important ethic that you will learn from the Christian lifestyle is integrity. And integrity to me is the most important, hands down, ethic or moral you can have in aviation. It affects every aspect of every industry, especially within aviation, from fueling to the pilots, to the maintenance, to the stewardesses. It takes honesty and integrity to keep everyone on the same page, build a better team, and keep everyone safe. I mean, when you have a machine that's made out of thin aluminum, bolted to 2 engines producing hundreds of thousands of pounds of thrust by igniting JP8 jet fuel or Jet A, depending on whether you're military or not, inside that engine and propelling you through the air at 400 plus knots, I mean, safety is paramount. As for the actual Christian ethics, the worldview of it, I mean, the ideal situation is the agape love, which is mostly charity. It's a beautiful system. It's well laid out within the Bible itself. John 3:16 is a very good example of that. But the problem is it relies on, for the ultimate charity to be functional, you have to have a system within your people or your country or your group that is a non-abusive, do not take advantage of the system worldview. If anyone takes advantage of the system or abuses or milks it like we're seeing people do today, the system will collapse because you just cannot take care of those who would abuse it. However, we still have to try. I mean, we have to really try in today's world to foster those better ethics within not only ourselves and our families, but also as well as the commercial industries that we are employed upon, which for me is the aviation maintenance industry. Love will always be present within the righteous. It will drive you to make the correct decisions because you have an inherent love for not only self, but definitely for your family, and you have a built-in desire from the Almighty to protect those around you. Even when someone's wronged you, you tend to give them that second chance, and sometimes that third chance, because it's a built-in desire to foster that, as we spoke of, agape love, to help guide them through their turmoils and show them there is a better way. Personally, for me, I think that, especially in the commercial, but mostly personal experiences within the commercial, is people will crave leadership. This is just my personal opinion. When there is a stressful situation induced, people look for someone that can step in and take charge, take the leadership, can handle stressful situations. It's always been proven throughout time that they always will look for some form of leadership. And us as Christians are some of the best leaders they can look to, because usually for most of us, I would probably say 80% plus, we are raised from childhood with a strong ethical, moral background, and that's where our ethics are built upon, as we have that strong foundation that was taught to us by our parents, by our grandparents, by the pastors at our church. You know, do the right thing, make the right decision, be nice, be polite, be charitable, care for others, you know, pull them into your flock. That is probably the best place to build your ethical structure on, is a religious foundation. Today's leaders, I do believe, don't have this. They are not well equipped for the decay that we are seeing within our system. That's why it is so important for us to get out into the industry and help foster better decisions. I mean, one key example that everybody's seeing on the news right now is Disney. I mean, Disney is the family industry globally, and they're now fostering in transgenderism and LGBTQ and all this stuff. And that's fine if that's what those people want to do, but that's not what we are Christians is taught. And not only that, but it's mainly don't come after the children. That's my personal view. Don't come after the children. The leaders within those organizations don't have the good moral foundation to understand, hey, there's guidelines, there's restrictions. I shouldn't cross that boundary. We have to get those back into the system. I mean, it will take a couple of iterations of leadership before that begins to stick and take hold within a company. I also believe that probably one of the most dominant systems out there is the natural ethics system, because it's a God-given right. So I'm a firm believer that government does create laws, and we're told by the Bible that those people would not be in power if they weren't meant to be. But natural God-given laws, the right to life, the right to protect my family, the duty to protect my family, are probably my personal guidelines that I apply everything to more than any others. As for Christian ethics, in a professional capacity, when you go into a management position, you have to first be able to utilize self-reflection. You need to look back and self-assess yourself, and that will provide you the guidance that you need to understand not only yourself in a stressful situation, but by doing that, it will allow you to accomplish the knowledge of how to assess others. You need to know their history, you need to know their background, whether it be their religion type or the stressful situations they've been in. If you know their history and you know their background, you can better self-assess them with your personality and build a better team, because you now can build a relationship. Those morals that they have might align with yours, or they may not. And if they don't, that's fine. But you can find a way to make it work together. We both may be Christians, but we may not have the same views, and that's fine. So what we do is we can build that team to where we find individuals who work better together, and we build those better teams. We can use ethics and morals to make our team more functional, because we're told by the Bible that we need to surround ourselves with people who help foster better lifestyles, better choices, who help us become the ultimate Christian that we're meant to be. And as a manager, you need to be able to surround your employees or your flock with those that coincide with them, that will make them feel more comfortable and open up their professional development a lot more. These same ethics and moral guidelines can also apply to family matters. I mean, not only just work-based, but personal and family matters as well. You want to help guide your family. We need to spread those ethics among not only the work, but especially our family, so that we can go and they can go out and foster even more. I saw a speech once from a naval commander at a graduation, and he said that if just every person in the class helped 10 people, and those 10 people that were fostered better ethics and better standards went out and they helped 10 people, that within, I think it was 50 years, they would have cumulatively all together helped over 8 million people. So all we got to do is just go help 10 people. If we can get 10 people on track, get a better moral standard, within decades we will have a large populace that are headed down the right path, and that will continue to grow year after year. But we have to work at it. It's something that if you don't foster it, will become stagnant. Christian ethics in the professional capacity, you must ensure that you don't allow the corporate decision-making process or board members to persuade you to break your ethics or not stand on your morals. They're going to push you to say, hey, what if we just skip this, pencil it in, say it was done, and we can move on, and this will increase our productivity because we got more done in that time frame. Well, in aviation, you can't do that. I mean, like I said, that aircraft is flying through the air at 400 knots, maybe faster. I always look at it, and I was taught by my instructors, imagine every aircraft you touch or your teammates touch, your family will be on board. Do you want to risk that your family may be on that aircraft? My grandfather was a Baptist preacher, and he always taught me, do not break your morals. Build that foundation. Life is hard. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. If you're going to, another good one he always taught me, and it sounds cheesy, is if you're going to do it right. Why do it 2 or 3 times over when you could have just did it right the first time? And that's where we all need to learn from, is to just really put the effort in, make the effort, put in the time, move forward. The company will put boundaries on where we can take our Christian ethics. That's fine, but we still have to stand on our morals. But these boundaries don't have to restrict you. They can actually provide a path for you to guide your team members down to get them on track. Like I said, you have to know people's history to understand how to communicate with this person, and they may not work well together, but this person over here may work well with this person, and you need to be able to build those teams. My job requires me to build teams overseas in very stressful locations where we work on an aircraft with 5 missions a day, 16 to 30 hours per flight, and we launch 5 aircraft a day. I mean, we are running through 100 and 600-hour maintenances like you would not believe. It's hot, it's loud, it's miserable, the food's awful, the housing's awful. So you have to build a team, and without that moral, ethical foundation to build that structure of ethics on, let me tell you, all that stress adds up, and it will bring your team down in a hurry. On the ethical decision-making process, you got to stay focused. Make sure that every decision you use your ethics to make, that you are providing not only you, but your team and your family that will travel in these aircraft a safe environment. It's our job to guide and protect the flock. They trust us. They're going to look to us when it's a stressful situation. When there's a time crunch on a project, they're going to be like, hey, can we cut corners and get this done so we can get the aircraft back out? No, we can't, because my wife and children may be on this aircraft tomorrow, or they may be on it before the next phase maintenance. So do not break your moral code. Stand on it, stand behind it, build on it. They will respect you. You may not be the most popular person at the time, trust me, but later on, when it really matters, they'll remember you kept them straight when it could have went the wrong way very quickly. We spoke about integrity. Like I said, integrity. You can't beat that enough. It is literally the most important thing in every industry, but for me in aviation, it is literally the most important thing that we have to foster. And like I said, the Christian foundation really fosters what we need to build, that integrity structure around our ethical systems. But as Christians, we got to go into these businesses and managerial positions, and we need to pay it forward. We need to help train these new generations that are coming up with the standards we were taught. They're going to be very resistant and hesitant to it. We don't have to force it upon them. We just provide it to them. And with enough time, believe me, even with the younger soldiers I work with today, with enough time, if you show them that putting in the effort, putting in the time, it will pay off. I've helped several soldiers put in the time to study and get their airframe and power plant certificates. And in the end, they can't thank you enough. And it's not what I don't do it for me. I don't do it for the thanks. I do it for them because people helped me, and I'm paying it forward. I'm helping them be better people. My strongest ethical base that I learned while in the military, as well as my first managerial position at a parts store, is I will never ask you to do anything I myself am not willing to do. I will not ask you to go clean up that bathroom that overflowed if I'm not willing to do it. I will not ask you to stock shelves or go out and do some crazy stuff in the military combat training ranges unless I myself have done it first. If I can't show you how to do it or do it better or safer, then I'm not going to ask you to do it until I do it. That is something that I stand by today. I will not ask you to do something I am not willing to do. I get a lot of respect from that. It's proved very effective leadership type for being in the field. I don't follow some of the leadership that I've worked with in the past, which is do as I say, not as I do. I will do what you do what I do. I set the example. Does it hurt sometimes? Oh yeah, but like I said, you got to stand on those morals. The class has been great. Learned a lot more about some of the ethical systems and how to use them. We got to continue to grow our ethics and our morals in this ever-changing world of diversity. And set the tone in day-to-day operations, and always, always stick to your ethics. Again, AVIA472, it's been a great class. Looking forward to my last semester coming up. Godspeed and God bless. Good night.